Wednesday, August 6th is the Lion Channel. I'm John, day 97 of my manifesting journey. First thing, Lion's Den. Brent, Kate, Shadow Flare, thankful. All falling asleep in the wish fulfilled, all staying consistent, thankful. Just found the channel 4 or 5 days ago, watched I think all of my videos, and within 2 days of falling asleep in the wish fulfilled, she had been looking for a job for a while. She was able to find a job. Now it's a part-time job, but wins are wins. And as long as you focus on the win, on the fact that, okay, today's better than yesterday. It's not maybe my wish fulfilled. It's not the person I want to become, but I can see a trajectory starting to change here and starting to move in the direction that I want it to move into. And that's where the focus needs to be. Okay, wins are wins. It doesn't matter how big the wins are, 1% every day, as I've said. So if you're going from no job to now a part-time job, that's kind of a big deal. Okay, next will be a part-time job, and you'll have, a full-time job. All right, and then you'll have not only will you have the full-time job, but you'll have the full-time job that you want. It's leveling up. Okay, steps, baby steps. As long as the steps are going upward, who cares how fast you get there? All right. So it's back to the whole thing. You don't want to be looking over your shoulder. You don't want to be judging. It's all about today is better than yesterday. Even if it's a little bit better, it's still better. And as long as it keeps getting better, again, who cares? It's better. All right. So thankful. That's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that information. Shadow Flare, you shared a comment that I wanted to talk about, and it made me think about some things here. So, first, okay, the techniques. I want to go back through the techniques because when you start to overthink and you start to like think about, how everything works, okay, and a lot of times, I'm just talking about videos. Some things can help, some things can, if you get too wrapped up, okay, there's a reason why there's a saying out there, the devil is in the details. Okay, because as I said, a couple videos ago with the car analogy, you don't have to know how the car was built, or you don't have to know how to build a car in order to drive a car and have it do for you what it needs to do for you. All right. So if we, a lot of times, like this is where I'm talking about. Like, I haven't read a book. I haven't read one Neville Goddard book. I haven't read a book on any books on the law of assumption. I watched a ton of David's videos, and he would talk about books and he would give information, and I started applying, techniques and the things that he was talking about. But one thing has always been consistent, and that's falling asleep in the wish fulfilled. And that is literally all you need to know, is how to fall asleep in the wish fulfilled. Okay. And the other side of it is, you talked about feeling you were thinking of something yesterday, and then you realized that you had been thinking of it. And when you were able to realize that and switch it over to thinking from, that changed everything. And that's pretty much all we need to do, is think from. So practice during the day as much as you can. Practice thinking from and not of. And you'll know, again, you will know that you're thinking from the event when it's just a relaxed, natural, pleasurable feeling. Because when you are the person, when you are that person, and this is what you want to fall asleep with, like, you've already had this stuff, so it shouldn't feel excited. Like even if it's the lottery, let's go back to the lottery, and you won the lottery, but you won the lottery 3 months ago. Like 3 months after winning the lottery, if you're still able to hold on to all that money and have it do the things for you that you wanted to do, like you're not like super excited anymore, right? Like you're happy that you won the lottery, but it's old news now. It's like the Tesla that's sitting out in the driveway. Like it was exciting when I was getting it the first day, but now it's been out there for a week. It's just, and I've driven it like a bunch of times, and it's just like, okay, cool. I have a Tesla. Like that's me now. That's how it should feel. It should be like, it's pleasurable when I think about it and I walk by the window and I see it out there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I have that car out there instead of that beat up old hunk of junk that we had, out there for the last 3 years or whatever it was. I think it was longer than that. All right. So, but that's the whole thing. Now it feels natural. Now it feels natural. The excitement has worn off. And so that's how you know that you're thinking of something. When you're thinking of it, it's going to feel exciting. It's going to feel like a big desire that when I get this, it's going to be the greatest moment. That's the opposite of what we're going for. You want to feel like you've already had it. Like I feel with the Tesla right now. I'm just like, okay, what's next? I did this, so what's my next manifestation that's coming? And so Shadow Flare, thank you for bringing that up. That's a very important part of it, because if you're falling asleep thinking of the desire, that's not going to impress the subconscious mind. That's just telling the subconscious mind, hey, I don't have this yet. Okay, which is where you are now. You want to tell the subconscious mind that you already have it and you're thinking from it, and then the subconscious mind will make it happen in the physical world. Okay, and then so we come back to what I was just talking about with the overthinking. All right, so techniques are great. Like I said, they keep, if you're doing gratitude and you're doing certain techniques, it keeps you in the present moment and it keeps your energy levels up. So when it comes, time for showtime at night, when you're falling asleep, it's going to be a lot easier to get yourself into that state. But if you start overthinking the techniques and getting like, just like thinking, oh, if I control my thoughts and, if I just watch all my thoughts, like then everything's going to change. Your thoughts are your thoughts only because of what you're falling asleep with. So when you're falling asleep in a certain state of consciousness and you're impressing the subconscious mind with that state of consciousness, that's what you get the next day. You get access to that state of consciousness. So you can't act outside of that state of consciousness. So in order to gain access to different thoughts, which you will have when you enter a new state of consciousness, you must first impress the subconscious mind. So it's not about going in and manually changing beliefs and changing thoughts. It's all about just those first 3 steps and then executing on that 4th step that I talked about, which is SATS. Okay? The state akin to sleep. That's just a fancy word for saying that moment in time when you go from the awake state to the sleep state. And it's just that moment. And whatever state of consciousness you are in at that moment when you're entering SATS, that's what you're impressing the subconscious mind with. And then the subconscious mind takes that information and it gives you that. Okay, and most of us have been falling asleep in a similar state of consciousness. Most of us, the state of consciousness that the state of consciousness that if we knew better, we wouldn't want.
But the subconscious mind is taking that state of consciousness and it keeps putting it out there and projecting it out into your world. And then that's what you experience. So just keep things simple. Just simple. Do not overthink this stuff. You know, even if you throw all the techniques out and just try and be present and just practice gratitude. All right. And then just don't think about anything else. That's even better than overthinking it. You don't want to overthink this stuff because because a lot of the overthinking is what gets us into that. I would overthink everything. When you talk about social anxiety, which I've talked about before, that was overthinking. I was just overthinking everything. What's this person going to think of me? What am I going to say if this person says this to me? Like that overthinking is like the thief of joy. Okay, it's what puts you in those states of doubt and fear and worry. All right, and it's sneaky too. Like you could think like, oh, I'm figuring this stuff out, but there's nothing to figure out. It's just do those first 3 steps, then fall asleep in the state of consciousness that you want, and then just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the roller coaster ride, because there's really no free will after that. Your free will is just picking the state of consciousness that you want to fall asleep in. That's why you're deciding who you want to become, and then you're creating that scene, and then you're feeling yourself into that scene, acting as if you already are that person, and then falling asleep with it, impressing the subconscious mind. And then the subconscious mind will gradually, if you do it consistently over and over and over again, it will change you into the person that you want to become, which is what is happening to me. All right. So I just wanted to you just don't even have to, you don't have to overthink it at all. Like I said, just enjoy the ride. Just focus on gratitude. Focus on staying present, reminding yourself that it's a simulation. But if you feel yourself going into like figuring stuff out and overthinking stuff, like the that's the opposite. That's the opposite of where you want to be. All right, because that's just the old person coming in. It when you're in the present moment, that's when you have access to the new ideas. The new ideas come from the present moment. They don't come from like overthinking stuff. Okay, like you will literally, all my ideas, and the only time like I really like, I don't know, apply stuff is like when I'm in the shower or driving or something like that, and I'll just be in the present moment, and then an idea will come and I'll be like, whoa, okay, that's cool. Like, and it'll be something that is congruent with what I'm already doing, like making these videos. I get ideas that come up every once in a while. Like I talked about the playlist. And then now I have a new idea that came up like today. My wife and I were just talking about something, and it just like, oh my God, it'll feel like somebody, like you have your hand out and somebody's just dropping something in your hand. Okay, but if you feel like you got to figure stuff out, you're not figuring anything out. You're just like you're that's the old person like pulling you back into the overthinking. That's where unhappiness comes from. Okay, I was there. I was there my whole entire life. Overthinking is the opposite of being present. Okay. Um that's it. That's all I have today. I did have on my non-negotiables to be relaxed. Um I feel like that was relaxed. It was passionate, but it was relaxed. I feel like that's how I feel. Anyway, maybe it came across differently, but I was totally relaxed inside. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped a little bit. Whoever needs it, whoever needed to hear that at this point. And it's one love. It's all love. All right, I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow, day 98, getting up there.